Head coach Shawn Elliott on National Football Signing Day. Coach Elliott, you were able to add 7 more signees to the 13 you signed in December. Just your overall thoughts on this group of signees and what they bring to Georgia State football.
Yeah, had a chance to add 3 more offensively, 3 more defensively, and then a specialist, which is a really, really good sign. And then also, to tell you the truth, we, as you can't announce, but we added some really good walk-ons that are coming in for us as well. So all in all, this class was a pretty overall success if you want to look at it. From a defensive line standpoint, we added a real playmaker in there. Got 2 wide receivers, some secondary players for their skill set is tackling and covering, of course. But overall, we're pretty happy.
In December, kind of the emphasis was the line of scrimmage, but then you were able to add some more skill this time around. Was that the plan?
Yeah, it was. We thought we met our needs with the line of scrimmage there in the first signing class, and then go to the kind of the secondary, and then our skill players on offense in the wide receiver position. And then certainly, we wanted to add a place kicker, a punter place kicker, and met that need as well. But like I said, overall, we're pretty happy, and I think our staff did an excellent job in evaluating and really finding the guys that fit our needs, and not so much are just great players. They're overall, they have to be so much more than just great athletes. They got to be good academics. They've got to have a higher character and tough individuals. So we feel like we met all those needs.
What's the reception been as the program continues to grow, the facilities continue to improve, and so forth? What were you hearing out on the recruiting trail?
Yeah, it's really amazing to see, and one of the things as we get in this recruiting and guys that actually we bring on official visits for the first time, they're really overwhelmed. They don't expect, they probably expect the city of Atlanta to be what it is, but Georgia State University, our facilities, our football program really shocks them. I think how our staff interacts with the families and just overall the comfortable feeling that they have once they're on campus is really, really special. And it's great to see and talk with the families after you have them here because they have such great things to say about our staff, this great city of Atlanta, and then, of course, about Georgia State.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Questions?
Let's focus on the receivers, Kadarius Thompson and Jamari Thrash.
Yeah.
What did you see in those 2 guys? You already have a pretty deep receiving group. What attracted you to those 2 guys to continue this line of outside threats?
Well, CT, Kadarius Thompson, big, strong, a guy that can go up and reach for the ball, and it just gives you great athleticism, somebody that we feel like can be a great fade threat, deep threat, and a tremendous athlete. If you see him play basketball, you'll certainly understand where his athleticism is and how he can hoop. And with Thrash, I think he's got the speed, he's got the dependable hands that you're looking for, a guy to kind of maybe play the inside slot position for us and do a lot of good things over the middle.
Is the kicker, is he on scholarship or is he a preferred walk-on? Is he just signed with the team as a scholarship?
We listed him as a signee, so
okay.
He's a signed scholarship football player, and we're thrilled to have Michael Hayes with us. He did an outstanding job representing the state of South Carolina. I think he was the Special Teams Player of the Year in the state, All-State, and really did an excellent job. He was a Shrine Bowl participant as well.
Was that emphasis for you to get you mentioned it a little bit, was that emphasis for you to get a scholarship kicker on the team for the next 4 years?
Well,
this cycle?
Sometimes everybody has kind of different scenarios when they're recruiting specialists. We recruited him as a guy that can do a lot of things. He's a kicker. He's a kickoff guy. When I say a kicker, a place kicker, he's a kickoff guy, and then also he punts. So that's big when you get one guy that handles all three phases, and he does them all 3 pretty well.
And Lane, he's signed as a safety. What are you looking from him as adding to this team?
Yeah, and Tavius Lane, if you watch him and the head coach down at Dwyer High School there, will tell you he's probably the best football player he's ever coached coming out of Dwyer, and that says a lot because there's been a lot of great players coming from there. But when you look at him, he is a ball hawk. Whether he's creating turnovers or he's returning turnovers for touchdowns, I think he had something like 6 or 7 turnovers for touchdowns from the defensive side of the ball. That's very rare. You don't find that, and he's a sure tackler, and I think that's something you've got to have in your back end. And he brings a lot of speed, but loves the game of football. That's one of the most important things you got to have.
And Miles Sexton, he's the 4th person from
Yeah.
Deerfield. So what's the connection like with that school that you have down in Florida, and you keep getting guys from there?
Yeah, I think we had the opportunity to recruit one early on, and then Coach Travis Trickett has a great relationship down there as well. But when you treat people good, they tend to go back and talk well about your football program, and we've had that here, and then we've had guys come in and their experience have been great. And I mean, whether it's on campus or in our football program, workouts, and just the great city of Atlanta, and word starts to spread. And that's the great thing about it. You treat guys right and you do things the right way, and word gets back to those programs, and that's certainly what has happened there. And we're thrilled to hit the death to have Miles. Miles is a guy that we really didn't target early on because I think he was committed elsewhere early on, and then became available. And Miles, he turned down a lot of big schools to come here to Georgia State, and he came here and he thought this was his home, and we're certainly proud to have him.
In between, early signing day and today with these 7 guys, what's been the biggest emphasis on making sure that you filled out this class the way you wanted to?
Well, the biggest emphasis is just getting the right players, and one of the things we have is know what you're getting before you get it, and have a high standard, high character, and tough players. We want that. So, in all our recruiting, whatever position it may be, I think you've got to stay with that. And sometimes in this second signing period, as guys, they kind of more guys become available, people tend to go and make risk grabs, so to speak, and we continue to do the things necessary to make sure we got a high standard athlete, academically, athletically, and socially and spiritually.
What you see in Avery Reese, the big tight end out of Tennessee, South Carolina, sorry.
Yeah, Avery Reese, big tight end, came to our camp this past summer. Unbelievable. I mean, a guy that can do a lot of different things. He's one heck of a blocker. Then he has soft hands as well as getting in his pass routes and doing the things necessary. Avery's about 6'2". I think he weighed about 270 pounds right now. Strong, physical man. If you know what high school he's coming from, I mean, they produce football players, and he's been well trained up there, and we're thrilled to have him. He's just a tenacious competitor. I think he was the Wrestler Player of the Year in South Carolina, or Wrestler of the Year in the state of South Carolina. I believe it came out the other night. So just anxiously awaiting him to come in here to get in our offense. I foresee him doing a lot of big things.
Right, and he's another multi-sport athlete, as the one Marcel asked about earlier. Do you guys look for a lot of multi-sport athletes? Because I know that they just tend to make it further.
I don't know. I mean, I think people make big deals about it. I'm looking for the best football player, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm looking for the greatest athlete, which with a high character, academic standards have got to be where it is. Certainly, if they're playing 3 sports, then they're very competitive. They want to be doing some things. But I'm not going to not recruit a guy because he's just a great football player. I mean, that'd be kind of ridiculous, wouldn't it? But more advantage to us if they do play 3 sports, especially in that position, because the tight end position is going to have some leverage because it's going to have to get in the trenches and block a little bit. So it teaches them a lot of things if they play multiple sports.
Right. You have 2 early enrollees, Tajee Gilbert and Javon Dennis. What have you seen in those 2 since they've been back working out?
Well, we watched them work a little bit. They're tremendous workers, both in the classroom and on the field right now. Because we've been on the road recruiting, we haven't had a whole lot of interaction with them on a one-on-one basis, but all reports indicate they're doing quite well.
You like this second year with the 2 separate signing periods? Are you more adjusted now to it? Do you like it? Do you see some things you can even tweak more just on a general scale for Georgia State with it?
Well, I don't know about tweaking. I mean, you would like to sign everyone on that December 19th, the early signing period, if you could. But I think as you see in this, the second signing class, tend to have more guys waiting around a little bit, taking a chance on that maybe a bigger school come in and start recruiting them. But, I don't think there's a philosophy that's going into it. You target your guys earlier now and you try to move forward in who you're going to sign.
We don't get you again until spring ball when it starts up. How excited are you to be done on the road, at least for this cycle?
Well,
trying to get you guys on the field.
Listen, as a football coach, you want to be on the football field. I mean, it's great to be out on the road recruiting and in homes and talking about Georgia State University, because ultimately you're trying to bring in the very best players. But we all want to be on the practice field. We all want to be competing. And we were able to come out and do that this morning with our football team on this signing period, or this signing day. And I can't wait to hit. I believe it's March 12th we start. So we got a long way to go, but we certainly do have a lot of progress that's been made thus far and moving forward. We got to grow. We got a heck of a new strength staff that's done a tremendous job in just a short amount of time they've been here. I call them the Strength Army, and they're producing a lot of results, early results.
What other football players at that high school that Avery Reese went to? Who else came out of that high school?
Oh, God. Let me see. If you look at Clemson's roster, you got Ben Boulware, you got Kendall Joseph, to both start off a national championship Clemson Tigers. There's a lot of great football players. I can go on and on, but that's a well-respected football program out of BHP.
This class as a whole, what
Yeah.
do you see them coming in as freshmen adding to your team?
Well, you don't put a lot of pressure on freshmen. I mean, you hope they come in and they bring great effort, because that's what we need out of them early on. And so that's probably the only pressure I put on these guys. Come in, pay attention, learn, and give us great effort. And everything after that, their freshman year, if they're able to come in there and produce right away, then certainly that's a big plus. But right now, we just want to see tremendous effort and growth.